when we're in the bush, and if you can sit still enough, and if you do a little bit of preparatory study and learning, you'll start to tune into a whole stack of noises. Just up here a minute ago, there's a thing called drongo doing its thing. We've got the bell miner birds over there. You might be hearing in the background. It's like chime, chime, chime. There's a little grey fantail just over here behind where you guys are viewing me from. And all these birds have got their territorial space. They're all doing their thing as if I wasn't here, because really I'm not here for them. I'm not any threat to them. I'm not creating any kind of interest or curiosity for them to even be concerned about. So that gives me an opportunity just to listen to their normal baseline level of behaviour. So as I tune into that, that gives me a lot of information. It basically becomes my spider web. Anything moving around there in the peripherals of this space would encounter those guys as sentinels, and those guys will go literally crazy. Because it doesn't matter if the guy or the animal is moving with stealth and concealment. To them, and from their perspective of literally a bird's eye view, they tune in and see and detect, and is an anomaly in their space. And as a consequence, they lose their minds, and they warn not only themselves, but they warn the entire forest community of this intrusion. So this is what we call bird language. Bird language is something, as a soldier, I've used to monitor the space around the position I'm occupying. As a tracker, I use it continuously to help me detect, become aware, and note the differences between what is normal and what is not normal. It's an incredible skill, and it's been used by humanity forever. Our most distant ancestors, no doubt, used it as a modality to seek out and close with their prey. Because if you don't move with respect, caution, and a different energetic wavelength when you're trying to approach prey, those things go off. And what do you think your prey's listening to? You're right, it's listening to them. So the deer or the wallaby or whatever it is you're trying to hunt is tuned in to those available data points of alarm signal, and it gets well out of the way before you arrive there. So it's a very important skill set to be able to have enough presence, discipline and stillness just to do nothing other than to sit, observe, listen and tune in. So it doesn't matter how you're interacting or planning to interact with the natural world. Your presence is always noted. And I mean, you can be in a full yowie suit, a ghillie suit, pretending you're a sniper, and these things will still detect the anomaly that is you. So isn't it an amazing thing to know that we can just be quiet and be accepted in that space again after a few minutes? Sometimes it takes 10 to 15 minutes for them to all settle down. It depends on how aggressively you've arrived into that space. But as soon as you're there, it's all chilled out. And then they'll move back in closer. They'll certainly check you out, but then they return to their normal baseline level of behaviour, as if you weren't there, until you move again, or more importantly, until something else moves. And what an incredible experience. As soon as you start to pay attention to these things, patterns within patterns within patterns become available to you. This is the whole journey of being aware in the natural environment, being a fairly scientific observer of what is, not putting a human bias on it, not sitting there trying to make meaning out of it, just observing, just seeing what is there. And in that time, while you're doing that, you're learning a lot of information about a lot of things that would normally just float on by. So I'm going to leave you with that thought as I continue to tune into what birds are moving around in this area. And I wish you well in your nature exploration experiences. See you later.